Hello, I'm Autumn. I'm going to be interviewing teenagers about growing up in Mendocino County. I'll be talking with them on various aspects of living in the country, such as why they live here, where their favorite place is, what they do for fun, and many other interesting subjects. Why do you live here?
Because my mother wanted me to live here because she said that this was a place she thought was right for me, but the secret is that she wanted to move here with her boyfriend, so I ended up here.
I like living here because all of my friends live here, and I really enjoy living close to the coast, and I like the redwood trees.
It's a special place. I think it's a good place for people to get raised because the community has such a high consciousness. That's one really good thing. You know, it's a good place for, and it's safe. In a way, it's too safe, though.
I like the coast, I like the ocean. The people are nice, and I like the atmosphere.
What do you do for fun in Mendocino?
I skate and, little of the subculture thing maybe, I don't know. I like to hang out on the street, you know, that kind of thing. I know.
Party.
Go to basketball practice.
I like to do a lot of artwork. I drive around and waste gas and go to the headlands, hang out.
Do you think that you do more drugs as a result of living here?
Not necessarily as living here, but the people.
I used to, not as much anymore. Before, I mean, when you got introduced to drugs, it's such a thing that you've never really done before. Because I never even thought about drugs when I lived other places. It just wasn't even something that entered my mind. I came here and they're everywhere, So.
I do more drugs as a result of living here, because I've grown up. Well, actually, I don't know. It depends. Because see, some people who live in the city like get into crack and cocaine and heroin, and I'm just a pot smoker, so.
More. Way more.
I mean, I know so many people who smoke, like, right on the streets, and it's like no big deal. It's like, oh, it's Mendocino, you know, if you see a cop, oh, you put it out. But it's like, you know, it's ridiculous. In the city, you could never do that. You know, I'm not saying people don't get busted here, because they do all the time, but it seems like it's, at least marijuana is a lot more accepted here.
What's your favorite thing about Mendocino?
My favorite thing about Mendocino? Waking up, or not necessarily waking up, but being up all night, maybe, and then coming into Mendocino when there's not a car on Lansing Street, and it's foggy, and the sun's just come up, and I don't know, that feeling that I get, just, this is my town, and I know every single passage, and I know every single little back alleyway. It's, I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I like going out and camping, and it's real easy to go camping where there's nobody around. This area, anyway.
That there's reggae shows.
It's so beautiful. This is really one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen in my entire life.
What are some of the disadvantages, do you think, of living here?
Underexposure to, I don't know, just you lose a lot of just the things of having a lot of, there's like, when there's a lot of people around, you gain a lot just from having a lot of people around.
You can get into the swing of not doing anything. There's nothing to do here, so you could get drawn into the hole. Like, it's kind of like a hole. You can just get it drawn into it where you're not going to do anything anymore. You don't have any motivation because you see nothing going around you. You have nothing to do then you find yourself not doing anything, not having any motivation to do anything but stay here.
Right.
What's bad about the country? Well, there's a whole bunch of dope growers, and people get killed every couple of years because all the dope growers get kind of bummed about their stashes getting ripped off.
In Mendocino, it's so carefree, you really don't have to be very cautious. It's totally carefree. You know, which is nice, but it's not realistic. You know.
I will now interview teenagers about subjects related to living in the wilderness, and also about what it's like to have your home surrounded by the beauty of Mendocino. What lessons has living in the country taught you?
Well, I've never lived anywhere else, so I don't really know if the fact that I live in the country has taught me any lessons that I wouldn't have got taught anywhere else, you know, because I've never lived anywhere else. I have nothing to reference against, but I guess early on I learned to be careful with fire and stuff like that, you know, because one time this field by our house. Somebody was playing with matches and it got caught on fire. Almost burnt down the house. Burnt down our playground. That was a bummer.
Oh, it's taught me a lot of lessons. Growing up on a commune has taught me how to live with other people, and just being in the country, as far as that's concerned, it's taught me survival and how to deal with endurance and walking and stuff like that, and just work. And it lets me know that life is work, and I mean, if you want to get anywhere in life, you have to do work.
More scary experiences.
Sure.
Like, I remember a time when it was really storming night, you know, where there was lightning and thunder and just really storming, and I was in my log cabin with where my dad lives, but he wasn't there yet, and it was getting pretty late, and I was waiting for him to come down, and he did come down. He finally came down, and we went upstairs. We had like this loft, and there was like on the edge of the loft there was a backrest that you could lean up against, you know. And we went up there, up into the loft, and he leaned up against the backrest to read me a story. And I went to lean against the backrest, but I guess I was just a little bit moved over too far on the loft, and I just leaned over backwards and fell out of the loft, just straight down onto my head on the out of the loft. And I wasn't really hurt real bad, I don't think. I had a real sore back, but anyhow, we went running up the hill because my dad thought that we might have to go to the hospital.
Probably being lost in the woods and being completely scared. And being times I've been walking with cause I spend time walking in the woods. One time in particular that I remember, I was walking down behind our house with my brother, and we forgot where we were, but essentially, and we just lost. So we used, you know, basic techniques like going uphill and came to a road and found out where we were, but that's probably most close to scared, because nature doesn't scare me at all.
Tell me your favorite moment of the day in the country.
I love those summer days when you wake up and it's not foggy outside and it's warm, and when you don't have really anything you have to do and you can just not go to work, you know, and you're not going to do much. That's some of my favorite days.
Certain times, if you're just walking in the woods and it's a completely sunny day, you just get this feeling, and it's just wonderful because you know you're alive and life is beautiful, basically.
Tell me what chores you have to do.
For my mom, for the most part, I just have to like carry in firewood and stuff like that and help fix things, split firewood, do stuff like that. For my dad, it's not like I really have very specific chores. We just both help each other out with everything that needs to be done.
Oh, emptying compost, dishes, sweeping, all that kind of stuff, splitting firewood.